the massive crystal dome of the Galactic Council chamber hummed with energy as representatives from 47 different species gathered around the central holographic display. Ambassador Krell adjusted his ceremonial robes and cleared his throat, preparing to deliver what he believed would be a routine intelligence briefing about the galaxy's most insignificant species. "Honored delegates," Krell began, his reptilian voice echoing through the chamber, "today we discuss the humans of Earth and their pathetic attempts at space colonization." The hologram flickered to life, showing a blue-green planet orbiting a yellow star in the galaxy's outer spiral arm. "Our surveillance indicates they have managed to establish exactly 17 colonies across 12 star systems in the past century. Their fastest ships barely exceed light speed by a factor of 3. A chorus of hissing laughter erupted from the Seth delegation. Their leader, Commander Viss, rose from her coiled position and spoke with obvious amusement. 17 colonies. In 100 years? My species established more than that in a single decade during our expansion phase. These humans are clearly not ready for galactic society." The Corellian representative, Admiral Thane, nodded his massive head in agreement. His species had conquered half the galaxy's major trade routes, and the thought of including such a primitive civilization in galactic affairs seemed absurd. "Their technology is centuries behind our own. They still use chemical propulsion for planetary launches and crude fusion reactors for power generation. Why are we even discussing them?" "Ambassador." Krell manipulated the holographic controls, showing images of human ships that had been spotted near the galactic trade lanes. The vessels appeared crude and bulky compared to the sleek designs favored by advanced civilizations. Their military consists of approximately 2,000 ships, most of which appear to be converted cargo vessels. They have no energy shields, no quantum weapons, and their armor is still made from refined metals rather than crystalline matrices. The Draconian delegate, Supreme Admiral Vex, leaned forward with interest. His species valued military strength above all else, and the humans' apparent weakness disgusted him. "Have they made any attempts to contact us directly? Any requests for technology sharing or trade agreements?" "None whatsoever," Krell replied. "They seem content to remain in their isolated corner of the galaxy, trading only among themselves, and occasionally with the Outer Rim merchants. Our intelligence suggests they are barely aware of our existence." The chamber filled with murmurs of agreement. The Zephyrian Trade Minister calculated that human space contained only minimal resources worth exploiting. The Crystalline Collective's representative noted that humans had never attempted to communicate through quantum resonance networks. Even the Peaceful Harmony Federation found nothing of interest in human cultural transmissions. Therefore, Krell continued, "I recommend we exclude Earth from the upcoming Galactic Trade Summit. Their primitive economy would contribute nothing to our discussions, and their technological limitations make them unsuitable trading partners." The vote was unanimous, with not a single delegate objecting to humanity's exclusion. Meanwhile, 6,000 light-years away, Dr. Rachel Thompson sat in the command center of the Terran Defense Initiative, buried 3 kilometers beneath the Sahara Desert. The facility's advanced sensors had been monitoring the Galactic Council's meeting in real time, translating every word and analyzing every gesture. She smiled as she watched the alien delegates dismiss humanity as irrelevant. "They're buying it completely," she reported to General Hayes, who stood beside her studying the tactical displays. "Our deception protocols are working perfectly. They think we're still using fusion reactors and chemical propulsion." General Hayes nodded grimly. "Good. The longer they underestimate us, the more time we have to complete Phase 7 of the preparation. Protocol, how many more years do you estimate before they discover the truth?" Dr. Thompson consulted her analysis computers. "Conservative estimate, 20 years minimum. We've been very careful to ensure only our most primitive ships venture into monitored space. The real fleet remains completely hidden behind our cloaking networks." The general activated a different set of displays showing the true extent of human space. Unlike the 17 colonies the aliens had detected, the real human territory encompassed over 400 star systems. Each system contained multiple hidden installations, automated defense networks, and manufacturing facilities that had been operating in complete secrecy for decades. Phase 7 will be complete in 18 months, Hayes reported. All quantum shipyards will be operational, and our AI fleet management systems will be fully integrated across all sectors. Once we activate the final protocols, we'll have the largest and most advanced military force in the galaxy. Dr. Thompson pulled up another display showing alien fleet movements throughout known space. The hegemony of worlds is becoming more aggressive. Our projections suggest they'll attempt expansion into our region within the next 5 years. They'll naturally assume we're an easy target. Let them come, Hayes replied with cold satisfaction. We've been preparing for this moment for 2 centuries. Every alien species that dismissed us, every council that excluded us, every delegate who laughed at our supposed primitiveness will discover exactly how wrong they were. The command center's main screen displayed a countdown timer showing the estimated completion of humanity's final preparations. Below it, status reports scrolled continuously, detailing the construction progress of thousands of ships that existed in complete secrecy. Advanced weapon systems designed specifically to counter known alien technologies were being mass-produced in hidden facilities throughout human space. The beautiful thing about their arrogance, Dr. Thompson observed, is that they've given U.S. complete access to their military capabilities. They broadcast their exercises, share their tactical doctrines, and openly discuss their weapons technology because they don't consider us a threat. We know everything about them, and they know nothing about us. General Hayes smiled coldly as he watched the alien delegates file out of their council chamber, confident in their superiority and completely unaware of the trap they were walking into. Humanity had spent 2 centuries playing the role of a primitive, isolated species while secretly building the most advanced military force the galaxy had ever seen. The time for revelation was approaching, and when it came, the universe would discover that Earth had never been isolated at all. It had simply been waiting for the right moment to emerge from the shadows and claim its destiny as the galaxy's dominant civilization. Fleet Commander Zan reviewed the tactical display aboard his flagship as 2,000 hegemony warships moved through hyperspace toward human territory. The massive invasion force represented the combined military might of 12 different species, all united in their desire to claim the resource-rich systems that humanity had foolishly left undefended. His communications officer, a crystalline being named Torx, approached with the final intelligence reports. Sir, our scouts confirm that the human colony of New Brisbane appears to be their primary agricultural center, Torx reported in his melodic voice. The planet supports approximately 2 million human colonists engaged in food production for their other settlements. Orbital defenses consist of 3 outdated patrol ships and several cargo handling stations. Zan nodded with satisfaction. His own species, the hegemony's dominant military force, had conquered dozens of primitive worlds using similar tactics. Overwhelm the defenders with superior numbers and technology, then impose order through strength. What about their response to our approach? Are they attempting to evacuate or calling for reinforcements? Nothing, sir. Our long-range sensors detect no unusual activity. The colonists appear to be continuing their normal agricultural routines. A few cargo ships have departed the system, but that seems to be regular trade traffic rather than evacuation. Efforts. The fleet commander studied the holographic representation of New Brisbane and its surroundings. The planet orbited a quiet star with no significant military installations visible anywhere in the system. The humans had clearly chosen this location for its agricultural potential rather than strategic value. They're not even trying to defend themselves. This will be easier than conquering the Outer Rim pirates. As the hegemony fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the New Brisbane system, Zan activated the communication array to broadcast his surrender demands. The message was transmitted on all known human frequencies, accompanied by visual displays of the massive alien fleet to emphasize the futility of resistance. Attention human colonists of New Brisbane. You are now under the authority of the hegemony of worlds. Surrender immediately and submit to our occupation forces or face the consequences of your defiance. You have exactly 1 hour to respond with your unconditional surrender. The response came back within minutes, broadcast from what appeared to be the planetary governor's office. A middle-aged human woman with graying hair looked directly into the camera with calm determination. This is Governor Martinez of New Brisbane Colony. We reject your demands and will defend our home with everything we have. We suggest you leave our system immediately. Zan burst into laughter at the absurd response. They're going to defend themselves with farming equipment and cargo ships? Begin the attack sequence. Target their orbital installations first, then move to ground bombardment positions. I want this finished within 6 hours. The hegemony fleet moved into assault formation, their weapon systems charging and targeting computers locking onto the human orbital stations. But as they approached optimal firing range, something unexpected happened. The planet's surface suddenly erupted with activity as massive structures began rising from underground installations across all 7 continents. Sir, Torx called out. With alarm, we're detecting massive energy signatures emerging from the planet's surface. These readings are unlike anything in our databases. Before Zan could respond, the space around his fleet began filling with new contacts. Dozens of heavily armed defense platforms decloaked in perfect orbital positions, their weapons already trained on the hegemony ships. The primitive patrol ships suddenly revealed their true nature as advanced stealth vessels, their apparent civilian hulls transforming into military configurations. Impossible, Zan whispered as his tactical officer reported the new threat assessments. Those energy signatures are reading higher than our own battleship reactors. How did they hide this technology? The answer came in the form of devastating weapons fire. The human defense platforms opened fire with energy beams that punched through hegemony shields like they were made of paper. Advanced projectile weapons launched from the planetary surface struck targets with impossible accuracy across millions of kilometers of space. The human patrol ships moved with precision that suggested artificial intelligence control, coordinating their attacks in perfect synchronization. Within the first hour, Zan's fleet had lost over 300 ships to weapons they couldn't even identify. The human colonists weren't just defending themselves, they were systematically destroying the most advanced military force the hegemony had ever assembled. Emergency communications flooded the command channels as ship after ship reported catastrophic damage from human weapons. Sir, the humans are using some kind of adaptive shielding system, his tactical officer reported with growing panic. Every time we adjust our weapon frequencies, their defenses automatically counter our modifications. It's like they know exactly how our technology works. The tide of battle turned completely when the human ground forces revealed their true capabilities. What the hegemony had assumed were agricultural installations transformed into massive weapon emplacements. Orbital bombardment platforms rose from hidden underground facilities, their firepower rivaling that of battleship main guns. The entire planet had been converted into a fortress without anyone detecting the construction. Admiral Kate Phillips materialized on the main communication screen, her human military uniform crisp and professional despite the ongoing battle. Fleet Commander Zan, you have exactly 10 minutes to order your surviving ships to retreat before we activate our final defensive measures. This is your only warning. Zan stared at the display in disbelief. What are you? Our intelligence? Reported that humans were primitive, barely capable of space travel. How do you possess technology that surpasses our most advanced systems? Philip smiled coldly. Your intelligence was exactly what we wanted you to believe. We've been watching your species for decades, studying your tactics, analyzing your weaknesses. You thought Earth was isolated, but we were simply waiting for the right moment to reveal ourselves. Every ship you've lost today was destroyed by weapons specifically designed to counter your technology. The final phase of the battle began as the human forces activated their ultimate defensive systems. Massive energy weapons fired from the planet's surface, creating a network of destruction that no hegemony ship could survive. The human orbital platforms coordinated their attacks with inhuman precision, targeting multiple enemy vessels simultaneously, while avoiding friendly fire through impossible calculations. Of the 2,000 ships that had entered the New Brisbane system, fewer than 50 escaped to carry word of the disaster back to hegemony space. As the surviving vessels fled through hyperspace, their crews transmitted desperate warnings about the true nature of humanity's military capabilities. The humans weren't primitive colonists. They were a military force more advanced than anything the galaxy had ever seen, and they had been preparing for this moment for centuries. Dr. Ben Rodriguez carefully brushed the ancient metal fragment he had discovered in the ruins beneath New Geneva Colony, unaware that his archaeological work was about to reveal the most terrifying truth in galactic history. The fragment appeared to be part of a crashed spacecraft, but its design didn't match any known human technology. As he ran his analysis scanner over the artifact, the results made his blood run cold. "This is impossible," he whispered to his research assistant, Maria Santos, who was cataloging similar fragments nearby. "The metallurgy analysis shows this material is identical to Carillion battle armor, but the dating suggests it's been here for over 300 years. The Carillions weren't even known to exist until 2 centuries ago." Maria looked up from her work, her expression confused. "Maybe your equipment is malfunctioning?" There's no way human colonists could have encountered alien technology before. First contact. Dr. Rodriguez ran the scan again, then a third time with different equipment. The results remained consistent. The fragment was definitely of alien origin, and it had been buried beneath human settlements for centuries. "Maria, I need you to contact the Colonial Archaeological Board immediately. This discovery could change everything we know about human space exploration." As news of the discovery spread through official channels, similar findings began emerging from archaeological sites across human space. On the mining world of Kepler Prime, excavation teams found the wreckage of what appeared to be a Seth reconnaissance ship buried beneath a human industrial complex. The ship's technology had been carefully dismantled and studied, with evidence suggesting systematic reverse engineering had taken place over decades. The pattern repeated itself on colony after colony. Ancient alien crash sites hidden beneath human settlements, their technology stripped and analyzed by successive generations of human engineers. The Colonial Archaeological Board classified the discoveries as top secret, but word began spreading through the scientific community that humanity's technological development had been far from natural. Meanwhile, in the crystal spires of the Galactic Council, emergency sessions were being called as intelligence reports about the New Brisbane disaster continued to arrive. Ambassador Krell stood before the assembled delegates, his reptilian features pale with shock as he delivered the unthinkable news. "Fellow council members, we have gravely underestimated the human threat. Initial reports from the hegemony survivors indicate that human technology is not only equal to our own, but may actually be superior in several key areas. Their weapon systems demonstrate capabilities that should be impossible given their apparent level of development." The Seth delegation hissed with disbelief. Commander Viss uncoiled from her position and addressed the chamber with obvious confusion. "This makes no sense. Our surveillance data clearly shows humans using primitive chemical propulsion and fusion reactors. How could they suddenly possess advanced energy weapons and cloaking technology?" Admiral Thane of the Carillions activated his personal communication device and began accessing his fleet's intelligence databases. "I'm ordering a complete review of all human encounters over the past 2 centuries. If they've been hiding their true capabilities, there must be evidence we've overlooked." The results of the intelligence review were devastating. Analysis of human ship movements revealed patterns that suggested a vast network of hidden facilities throughout their territory. What had appeared to be random cargo traffic was actually a sophisticated supply system supporting massive construction projects. The humans hadn't been expanding slowly. They had been building in secret while projecting an image of primitive colonization. Dr. Rodriguez's archaeological discoveries provided the final piece of the puzzle. His team had uncovered evidence of at least 15 different alien crash sites on human worlds, each one carefully excavated and studied by human engineers. The wreckage included technology from species that had been extinct for millennia, suggesting that humanity had been encountering and learning from alien civilizations for far longer than anyone had suspected. The implications are staggering, Dr. Rodriguez reported to the emergency council session via secured transmission. Humanity appears to have been systematically collecting and reverse engineering alien technology for centuries. Every major breakthrough in human engineering can be traced back to these archaeological sites. The revelation sent shockwaves through the galactic community. Intelligence agencies began frantically reassessing their data on human space, and what they discovered terrified them. The humans hadn't just been hiding their military capabilities, they had been conducting the largest intelligence operation in galactic history. Every human cargo ship that had passed through alien space had been equipped with sophisticated scanning equipment. Every human diplomat who had attended trade negotiations had been gathering intelligence on alien technology and military capabilities. The entire human presence in the galaxy had been a carefully orchestrated deception designed to gather information while projecting weakness. The Draconian Supremacy's intelligence chief, Admiral Kor, addressed his species' war council with growing alarm. The humans haven't just been studying our technology, they've been studying us. Every military exercise we've conducted, every weapon we've tested, every tactical doctrine we've developed has been observed and analyzed by human intelligence operatives. The scope of the deception became clear as more evidence emerged. Human asteroid mining operations were actually automated weapon manufacturing facilities. Human research stations were sophisticated sensor arrays monitoring alien communications. Human trade convoys were intelligence-gathering missions disguised as commercial ventures. Most disturbing of all was the discovery that humanity had been deliberately allowing certain alien technologies to fall into their hands. Several accidents involving alien ships in human space were revealed to be carefully orchestrated events designed to provide humans with access to advanced technology. The crashed ships had been studied, their crews interrogated, and their technology integrated into human military systems. Dr. Rodriguez's team uncovered the final, most terrifying piece of evidence in a hidden vault beneath the ruins of New Geneva. Ancient human documents detailed a centuries-long plan to achieve galactic dominance through patience, deception, and technological superiority. The plan called for humanity to remain hidden until they had developed overwhelming military advantages, then emerged to claim their rightful place as the galaxy's dominant civilization. The document, dated over 400 years ago, concluded with a chilling statement. The galaxy considers us primitive and isolated. This perception is our greatest weapon. When we finally reveal ourselves, it will be too late for anyone to stop us. The age of human dominance begins not with conquest, but with the enemy's complete underestimation of our capabilities. As the truth spread through galactic intelligence networks, panic began to set in among the major powers. Humanity wasn't just another species seeking expansion. They were a carefully planned threat that had been preparing for galactic conquest for longer than most civilizations had existed. The New Brisbane disaster wasn't a lucky victory. It was the opening move in a campaign that had been centuries in the making. Supreme Admiral Vex of the Draconian Supremacy stood in the war room of the massive command ship Dominator, as the largest military fleet in galactic history prepared for its final jump into human space. 15,000 ships from 8 different species had assembled for what military strategists called the Great Cleansing, the complete destruction of humanity before they could spread their influence beyond their current territory. Intelligence confirms that the humans have fortified 12 key systems along their frontier, reported his tactical officer Commander Drex. Our battle plan calls for simultaneous attacks on all 12 locations to prevent them from coordinating their defenses. Even with their advanced technology, they cannot be everywhere at once. Vex nodded grimly as he studied the holographic display showing the deployment of the massive fleet. The combined forces represented nearly every major military power in the galaxy, united by their fear of human expansion. The element of surprise is crucial. Our hyperspace jumps must be perfectly coordinated to prevent the humans from detecting our approach until it's too late for them to respond effectively. The fleet contained representatives from species that had been enemies for centuries, now working together against the common human threat. Corellian battleships flew alongside Seth stealth vessels, while crystalline collective energy platforms coordinated with Zephyrian strike squadrons. The diversity of the force was intended to counter whatever technological advantages the humans might possess. As the countdown to the attack reached its final minutes, Vex activated the fleet-wide communication system to address the assembled forces. Today we face an enemy that has deceived us for centuries, but we will not be fooled again. Their technology may be advanced, but they are still only human. Numbers and determination will carry the day. The Great Cleansing began with the simultaneous hyperspace jumps of 15,000 ships into 12 different star systems. Each attack group contained over 1,000 vessels, more than enough firepower to destroy entire planets. The fleet commanders expected to find scattered human colonies defended by the kind of limited forces they had encountered at New Brisbane. Instead, they found something that defied their understanding of military logistics. Every human system was defended by thousands of ships that seemed to materialize from empty space. The vessels moved with inhuman precision, their formation suggesting coordination by artificial intelligence systems operating on a scale that should have been impossible. Captain James Ward commanded the human flagship Retribution as it led the defense of the Darwin system, one of the primary targets of the alien invasion. His ship's quantum AI, designated Oracle, had been analyzing the attacking fleet's movements since their hyperspace emergence, calculating optimal response patterns for every possible scenario. Oracle, what's our tactical assessment? Ward asked. As the alien fleet moved into attack formation, the enemy fleet consists of 1,247 ships from 6 different species, Oracle replied in its emotionless synthetic voice. Their formation indicates they expect to engage primitive human forces using conventional tactics. I have identified 43 critical vulnerabilities in their approach that we can exploit. The battle began as the alien forces opened fire with conventional weapons, expecting to overwhelm human defenses through sheer firepower. Instead, they found themselves facing technology that seemed to anticipate their every move. Human shields adapted to incoming weapons fire, automatically adjusting their frequencies to provide maximum protection. Human weapon systems targeted the exact weak points in alien ship designs. Striking with surgical precision, the alien fleet's first shock came when they realized that human ships were communicating and coordinating across impossible distances without any detectable communication signals. Unknown to them, humanity had developed quantum entanglement communication networks that allowed instantaneous coordination across multiple star systems. Every human ship in the galaxy was connected to a central tactical network that could process battle data faster than any biological mind could comprehend. Sir, the humans are somehow predicting our attack patterns, reported the tactical officer aboard Admiral Vex's flagship. Every time we adjust our formation, they're already moving to counter our new strategy. It's like they know what we're going to do before we do it. The truth was even more disturbing. Oracle and its sister AI systems had been analyzing alien military tactics for decades, learning from every battle, every exercise, every training simulation that humans had observed. The AI network had developed predictive models for every major species in the galaxy, allowing it to anticipate enemy movements with near-perfect accuracy. As the battle intensified, the aliens discovered that human weapons technology was specifically designed to counter their defenses. Corellian energy shields, considered the strongest in the galaxy, were useless against human particle beams that operated on frequencies the shields couldn't block. Seth's stealth systems failed completely against human sensors that detected quantum signatures rather than traditional energy emissions. The most terrifying aspect of the human defense was its mechanical efficiency. Human ships fought without emotion, without hesitation, without the tactical mistakes that plagued biological commanders under stress. When alien vessels were damaged, human forces immediately focused fire on the wounded ships to ensure their destruction. When enemy formations showed signs of weakness, human attacks intensified at precisely the right moment to achieve maximum effect. Their ships are fighting like machines, Admiral Vex observed with growing horror as he watched his fleet being systematically destroyed. There's no passion, no anger, no fear. They're killing us with the same efficiency they might use to harvest crops. The alien fleet's cohesion began to break as species-specific tactics failed against human countermeasures. The Draconian Supremacy's aggressive frontal assaults were met with concentrated firepower that destroyed entire squadrons before they could close to combat range. The Crystalline Collective's energy-based attacks were absorbed by human shield systems and converted into power for their weapons. Captain Ward watched the battle unfold on his tactical display, noting how Oracle's predictions were proving accurate down to the minute. Oracle, what's the probability of complete victory in this engagement? Based on current battle progression, we will achieve total destruction of enemy forces within 4 hours and 17 minutes, Oracle replied. Enemy casualties will exceed 95%, with remaining vessels likely to retreat in disorder. The prediction proved accurate. As the alien fleet realized the hopelessness of their situation, panic began to spread through their communications networks. Ship after ship broke formation and attempted to flee, only to be systematically hunted down by human pursuit vessels that were faster and more maneuverable than anything in the alien fleet. The few surviving alien ships that managed to escape carried horrifying reports back to their home governments. The humans hadn't just won the battle, they had demonstrated technological and tactical superiority that made continued resistance futile. The Great Cleansing had become the Great Defeat, and the galaxy's most powerful military alliance had been shattered by an enemy they had completely underestimated. As the wreckage of the alien fleet drifted in space around 12 different star systems, human expansion fleets began moving into the power vacuum left by the defeated invasion force. The age of human dominance had begun, and the galaxy was about to discover that their isolation had been the calm before the storm. The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened in the shadow of a human fleet that had appeared in orbit around Sanctuary Prime without warning, their ships maintaining perfect formation while broadcasting a simple message: "We come to negotiate the terms of your surrender." Ambassador Krell sat at his delegation's table, his reptilian hands trembling as he reviewed the reports of human expansion across former hegemony territory. In the 6 months since the failed invasion, human forces have occupied 47 star systems, he announced to the assembled delegates, his voice barely above a whisper. They haven't just defeated our military forces, they've systematically dismantled the governmental structures of 3 entire civilizations. The Carillion Empire, the Seth Confederacy, and the Crystalline Collective have all been placed under human administration. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. These weren't temporary military occupations, they were permanent conquests. The humans had proven that their victory at New Brisbane wasn't a fluke, but the beginning of a carefully planned campaign to reshape galactic civilization according to their vision. Commander Viss of the Seth delegation hissed with barely controlled rage. How is this possible? We had intelligence networks throughout the galaxy, yet we detected no signs of human military buildup. Where did these fleets come from? The answer came from the chamber's main communication system as it activated without authorization, displaying the image of a human woman in a crisp military uniform. Admiral Sarah Chun, commander of the Terran Expeditionary Force, gazed at the assembled aliens with calm confidence. Honored delegates of the Galactic Council, I am here to discuss the new reality of galactic politics. Your intelligence networks failed to detect our true capabilities because we have been preparing for this moment for over 2 centuries. Every human ship you observed, every human colony you monitored, every human diplomatic contact you analyzed was part of an elaborate deception designed to hide our true strength. The display behind Admiral Chun showed real-time images of human fleets stationed in orbit around every major alien homeworld. The message was unmistakable: resistance was futile, because humanity had already achieved complete strategic dominance throughout the galaxy. The terms of our arrangement are simple and non-negotiable, Chun continued. All species that participated in the attempted invasion of human space will immediately surrender their primary military installations to human oversight. Your weapons development programs will be terminated, and your existing military forces will be reduced to levels we deem appropriate for maintaining internal order. Admiral Thane of the Corellians rose from his seat, his massive form radiating defiance. You cannot simply demand the surrender of sovereign civilizations. The Galactic Council has maintained peace for over 1,000 years through diplomacy and mutual cooperation, not through conquest and domination. Admiral Chun's expression remained unchanged. The Galactic Council that excluded humanity from galactic affairs, that dismissed us as primitive and irrelevant, no longer has the authority to maintain anything. We are restructuring galactic governance with Earth holding permanent oversight of all major decisions. Your species will retain limited autonomy in exchange for cooperation with human administrators. The scope of human demands became clear as Chun outlined the new galactic order. All interstellar trade would be conducted through human-controlled networks, with Earth receiving preferential access to resources and markets. Alien technological development would be subject to human approval, preventing the creation of weapons that could threaten human dominance. Most importantly, all alien military forces would be integrated into a unified defense structure under human command. This is madness, protested the Zephyrian Trade Minister. You're demanding the complete subjugation of dozens of sovereign civilizations. The economic disruption alone would cause suffering on a scale the galaxy has never seen. The economic disruption has already begun, Chun replied coldly. Human forces have seized control of the major hyperspace trade routes, and we have imposed new regulations on all commercial traffic. Species that cooperate with our new administration will find their trade privileges restored. Those that resist will find themselves completely cut off from galactic commerce. The demonstration of human power was both subtle and overwhelming. While Chen spoke, the tactical displays in the council chamber showed human ships moving through space with perfect coordination, their formations suggesting military capabilities that far exceeded anything the aliens had imagined possible. The ships themselves were marvels of engineering, incorporating technologies that seemed to blend the best features of dozens of different alien civilizations. Dr. Rachel Thompson, now promoted to Director of Galactic Intelligence, watched the proceedings from her command center on Earth. Her screen showed the real-time reactions of alien governments as they received reports of the council session. Panic was spreading through their communication networks as the reality of human dominance became undeniable. Phase 8 is proceeding exactly as planned, she reported to General Hayes, who stood beside her observing the global intelligence network they had built over centuries. The psychological impact of our revelation is causing more damage to alien morale than our military victories did. They're beginning to understand that resistance is not just futile, it's pointless. The truth was even more devastating than the aliens realized. Humanity's preparation for galactic conquest had been so thorough that they had already infiltrated every major alien government, military organization, and commercial enterprise. Human agents, disguised as members of various alien species, had been gathering intelligence and sabotaging potential resistance efforts for decades. The beautiful aspect of our long-term strategy, General Hayes observed, is that we've turned their own arrogance against them. They dismissed us as primitive for so long that they never bothered to properly analyze our true capabilities. By the time they realized their mistake, we had already achieved overwhelming superiority in every area that mattered. Back in the council chamber, Admiral Chun was concluding her presentation with the final terms of humanity's offer. You have exactly 72 hours to begin implementing these requirements. Species that comply will find themselves partners in a new galactic civilization that offers unprecedented prosperity and security. Those that resist will discover that humanity has learned to wage war with the same efficiency we applied to everything. Else, the threat wasn't empty rhetoric. Human forces had already demonstrated their ability to defeat any military opposition, and their technological advantages were growing larger every day. The quantum AI networks that controlled human fleets were continuously learning and improving, making them more effective with each passing hour. As the alien delegates filed out of the chamber to report to their home governments, many realized that the age of independent alien civilizations was ending. Humanity hadn't just won a military victory, they had achieved something far more significant. They had proven that patient preparation and strategic deception could overcome any technological or numerical advantage. The galaxy that had once dismissed Earth as an isolated backwater was about to discover that humanity's isolation had been the ultimate weapon. While alien civilizations had competed and fought among themselves, humans had quietly built the foundation of galactic empire. The universe had underestimated humanity for the last time, and the consequences of that mistake would reshape the galaxy for generations to come. In the months that followed, alien resistance crumbled as species after species accepted human terms rather than face complete destruction. The new galactic order that emerged was unlike anything in recorded history, a civilization spanning thousands of worlds, united under human leadership and guided by human vision. The age of human dominance had truly begun, and the galaxy would never be the same.